After 2 disastrous years under their local version of Amendment 4, the residents of St. Pete Beach were fed up with gridlock lawsuits and wasted tax dollars. Amendment 4 supporters promised that their idea would just give voters a say on growth. But St. Pete Beach residents have seen nothing but higher costs, fewer jobs, and little progress. Now even those who once supported the amendment are calling for an end to the madness. Suzanne Cummings once worked to pass her town's local version of Amendment 4. She now opposes the measure, and in 2009, she voted to rein it in.
We are economically stagnated. Our city is divided and polarized. We have no growth going on. We have businesses going out right and left.
Even the St. Petersburg Times, which often opposes new growth, called Amendment 4 a formula for gridlock. The Times says, as the 3-year experiment in St. Pete Beach shows, land planning via referendum is a messy, unpredictable business that leads to higher government costs due to litigation and a stalemate when it comes to development. The gridlock and litigation in St. Pete Beach revolves around just a handful of comprehensive land use plan changes. But under Amendment 4, most voters would have to decide dozens or even hundreds of such changes every election, making the gridlock and litigation in St. Pete Beach seem mild by comparison. Lorraine Hune has seen the problems firsthand.
It doesn't work. Not only does it not work, it'll ruin the state just like it ruined our city.
Even the Palm Beach Post, which is often critical of development, wrote that under Amendment 4, ballots statewide would be full of jargon-laden, irrelevant junk. The Post concluded by urging Florida voters to learn from the mistakes of St. Pete Beach, writing that because St. Pete Beach suffered for 3 years, Florida can avoid having to suffer for much longer. Lorraine, Suzanne, and their neighbors in St. Pete Beach learned firsthand that Amendment 4 just doesn't work. Amendment 4 promises voters a say, but really just rigs the system for special interest lawyers to have their way at our expense. Amendment 4 means fewer jobs, a weaker economy, and higher taxes. Vote no on Amendment 4.